that rig's going to come into the scene, it's going to come in really big probably because of how the character was made versus how the set was made and stuff like that. So what we can do is actually grab this main control. Now, a lot of times people tend to just like do this and turn the character to start with. There's a reason why those rotate channels are out of there, and you don't want to typically do that because what happens is then our axis is off axis. So if I move this character's foot, see how I'm having to like move across axis in order to change its orientation. But if I move this foot, okay, actually hold on a second, make sure this isn't right. When I move like this, right, it's moving across axis. So if I move my whole control here, then it starts getting into a scenario where it's going to move multiple channels in order to move me, move me forward. Okay, so we typically don't want to do that. We just want to move along one axis, right? So in this particular case, you have the luxury to actually go ahead and use you have the ability, because you're not working within the confines of some scenarios where I even try component mode. So where you have a scenario I'm sorry, if you're going to, you have the ability, I guess is the better way to put it, of changing the orientation of your set. Because this is the only thing you're working with, and you're not in a major production where you're leaving the set or set's being referenced or something. In the setup department that would be initially created, as an animator, you typically would not have to worry about that. But considering you're doing some of the setup as well, then you have the ability to kind of work this way and work with certain things in certain ways. And what you want to do is just unreference this set and then orient your set around your character. Okay, so if we go in under into our outliner and take a look, here's our main set, right? You'll notice that it's grouped together. So what I can do is I can actually turn my set. So maybe I want the character to come out of the shot and he's going to, turn and walk. Or maybe I want him to actually walk down the street at this angle. Or maybe I want him to be faced the opposite way. So maybe he's going to come out, and head this direction down the street. Now you typically want to keep it in 90-degree angles, right? So let's do like 180. Let's say if he's going to walk out of the shot and go this direction, or maybe he starts on this side and comes and turns in. That would be, the better orientation for your set. This particular case. And then we don't have to worry so much about the character's movements, because now I'm moving forward, I'm moving along one axis. I only have one axis to deal with in order to continue to try to move that character forward, okay, and work with things. So thinking of that, then you can go in and scale things. And so let's just go ahead and grab these three channels. So you left click your scale, shift, and select the bottom one, have all three selected, and then you can scale that character down into the door size. Okay, so that would be something to do. And now our character's set, right? We don't have to worry with this. You can change the color of your character if you wanted to. Let's do like orange or something, or blue, or red, or green, or whatever you want. I don't care. It doesn't matter to me. Okay. So orange is not so orange though, but let's say we worked with, just keep it nice and calm and do the blue. Blue. What cyan look like? Oh, that's kind of cool. Okay. So we can do that. All right. So then you can translate this character control though. This just gives us our initial start point. And maybe he starts over here and he walks into screen and heads over to the other side. Remember, this is our shot camera, so we're just setting up for maybe our vantage point of the angle that we want to be at for the start of that animation. Okay, and our animation, our perspective camera is what we're going to use. Typically grab the main control, hit F so you can focus around the character. And then you're using this to kind of, look at your poses and get things set up and ready to go as you're moving across the screen. Okay. The other thing you can do for your shot camera is select the camera and go into your attribute editor. Okay. General editors, attribute editor. And inside here, it's already set up to 54, which is fine. That's good. Oh, focal length of the lens, rather. Let's make this more like 54. That's more of like a 35 millimeter, so you can play with that a little bit. I wouldn't go, too big because you don't want too much space. You don't want it to be too close. But if you want more of a camera that feels more like a shot, a snapshot camera, something like that, so it feels like a tourist on vacation or something like that, then that could be a good, little space right there to work with. Okay. Whereas this one, you might open it up a little bit more. Whoops, didn't mean to change that. It's the wrong camera. Select this camera, and then change this from 35, which is not actually 35 millimeter. You can make it a little bit bigger so that you can kind of see. Now, realizing that the more you stretch it, the more dynamic it becomes, and then things look perspectively out of skewed and out of place. So you want to keep that in a range that you can see but not distorting, and that'll help you with getting a little bit more space so you can kind of see which direction you're working and moving with. Okay, so that is that. And once you have that, obviously you're going to save that. So you go save scene. Oops. Save scene. And we'll give this a new name, which would be your last name. In this case, it's going to be Bowman _ first name _ 3DA. Your section, the basic typical, naming convention. And then at the very end, I put, for me, I put V001 because that's my first version. And that's what I'll save as. So save that. Unknown nodes are data may be present. Okay. You can, if you get that message, go into optimize scene size. And then just go down to unknown nodes, click that on and say optimize now. And that will get rid of any unknown nodes that may be present. Okay, so we'll save that scene. Save as. Give it a name. Again, Bowman. Craig. 3DA. V01. And boom, there we go. And then I'm ready to go. Okay, that's my first shot to start working with as far as getting ready to animate and setting up things within Maya. Okay, ready to go for animation.